So in a table of value, we have x and y. Okay. What we've seen before is we've seen x in the middle is your equation that you fill it out to get your y. Okay. So a table of values is a table used to record the coordinates of points in a relation. Okay. Coordinates means the value, x and y. A relation is a pattern that connects two sets of data, okay, or what we call ordered pairs. What we mean by ordered pairs, we mean x and y. Okay, so the relation, when we get a relation, we get something that would look like this. So let's say you have this point, then you have another point, and then you get something that connects them. Okay? So relation is the line, if you want. In this case, we're talking about lines. It's the line that connects the points or the ordered pairs. Okay?
You said coordinate. I'm not too sure. There's coordinate means the value of x and y.
Coordinates is the value of x and y. Yeah. So the linear relation is, how does a linear relation look on a graph? What would it look like? A straight line. Okay? So a linear relation is a straight line. The slope is the steepness of the line, right? Is how steep is the line. In other words, we call the slope the rate of change. Okay? So the slope is the rate of change of one point on a line in relation to the other point. Remember how we found the slope yesterday? We found it in two ways. One way was to look at the rise over the run. You guys remember that? Another way we did, which is also similar, right? It'll end up being the same thing. We did y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay? Remember that the formula is right here on the board, so y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and it also shows you the rise over the run. Okay? Okay. When you're calculating the slope, if x increases by 1, ask yourself how much does y increase or decrease. Okay? Again, there is a formula. We have two formulas, we're going to use them. Okay? You don't need to think a lot about it. Just find 2 points, plug them in, find the slope, or do rise over run. Now, as x increases, if y also increases, so if I have something that looks like this, so this is y, this is x, right? As x is increasing, y is increasing. What kind of slope do I have here? Positive or negative slope? Positive. Okay? Okay? So as x is increasing, y is increasing, so I will have a positive slope. Now, is increasing, y is decreasing. So as x is increasing, y is decreasing. Do you see that? So x is increasing, y is decreasing. What kind of slope do I have? Declining one, so the slope would be negative. If you're always moving in the positive x direction, you're always moving to the right for the x. So you're gonna put your hand on the graph, and then you're gonna move always to the right. Okay? So you're gonna always move this way. If your line is going up, that means you have a positive slope. Okay? Put your hand on the start of the line and move toward the positive x. Is your line going down? Then your slope is negative. Okay? So you're always starting from the start of the line and moving toward the positive x. Yesterday we learned how to do a table of values. So yesterday we did all the way up to this point. Okay? We did not do the rate of change. So today we're going to do an extra step, which is calculating the rate of change using table of values. Can you guys remind me of what do we do here to find the xy coordinate? Plug in the values for x in the equation, that's right. So my equation is what? Y equals 3x plus 1. That's my equation. The x values are given to me, so these are the x values. I have to plug them in for x. So instead of x, I'm going to have the x value here. So the x values that I picked for you here are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Do you always pick them, or?
For the purpose of this course, yes, I'm going to pick them for you. Okay? But if you're asked, if you have a word problem question and then you have to pick your own values, technically you can pick any values, but you have to kind of think about what x values would make sense. If we're talking about time, would negative numbers make sense? If we're talking about distance, would negative number make sense? So you have to think a little bit about what values you're going to pick. Okay? So I'm going to put my 0 in because my x is 0. So 3 times 0 plus 1 is what? 3 times 0 plus 1? Okay. So what's my xy coordinate? X. Okay? Plug in the 1 in for x. What's 3 times 1? Plus 1? 4. So that's 1. 3 times 2 plus 1. Again, I'm getting these values from the x table of values, right? 6 plus 1 is 7. 3 times 3 plus 1 is 10. 3 times 4 plus 1 is 13. So these are my points. Okay. Here is the new step. The slope, or the rate of change, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay? So if I do y2 minus y1, and divide by x2 minus x1. We're gonna start from the bottom up. Okay? So we're gonna start from here. Start here. And go up. So let's look at this. I have to do y2 minus y1, and I have to divide it by x2 minus x1. Okay? So y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So 13 minus 10 over 4 minus 3. 13 minus 10 is 3. 4 minus 3 is 1, so that's 3 over 1, or in other words, it's 3.
So the 4 will be x1, and then the 3 will be x2.
y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1.
Okay.
So this would be x2, this would be x1. For the first point, right? They will change for the second point.
Okay.
When I move up, they will change. And then this would be y2, and this would be y1. Okay? Do you guys see that? For the next one, I'm always moving from the bottom up. Okay? So I have to do this minus this. And this minus this. Okay? So 10 minus 7 over 3 minus 2. Do you guys understand that? 10 minus 7 is 3. Over 3 minus 2 is 1, so that's another 3. Okay? I keep moving up. 7 minus 4. 2 minus 1. That's another 3. Yes, exactly. Okay? I have, how many more do I have? I have to do one more, right? Because I'm gonna get to a point, I have nothing else to do. So if I do this and this, right? I'm gonna end up with nothing else to do, right? Because there's no point above this. So that's gonna be 4 minus 1 over 1 minus 0, so that's also a 3. Okay? This part of the table, you don't fill it out. You leave it blank, you put a cross, you put a X, you don't put anything in. So what we have noticed, right? We have noticed that the slope is the same for all the coordinates. So if you look right here, the slope is the same. It's constant. Okay? And this is what you should get for a straight line. If it's not a straight line, then you will not get a constant slope. Okay? So the slope is the same for all coordinates. Then we can say that the rate of change is constant. And therefore it's a straight line. Do you notice anything else? No? Okay, we'll do the next question and maybe we'll notice something.
about mainly just, rate of change today and then doing the quiz? Okay. I have an appointment after school. It's not,
Do you have to go? What time do you have to go?
but it's probably sometime around 3:30.